Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another rendition of Delete Laws. What's going on out there in the land of America? How's everybody doing today?
Hello.
Why do you have your hand on your gun?
Because it's comfortable. So the reason why I'm calling is because people are calling up here saying you've been parked here for a little bit. So that's why I came and talk to you. What's going on? Do you live here?
I don't answer questions.
Do you live here in the area or do you live in your car?
I don't answer questions.
I don't answer questions. He asked one question, and then she didn't say if she's in her car, she should pull her trifold down, put it right in his face, and say, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. She's filming him. The trifold should be backing that up. And now there's the second question.
Questions.
Okay. So, as of right now, I can't do anything. But if you get another call back here, out here, we'll have to figure something else out, okay?
Yeah, like maybe a crime.
Huh?
Like maybe figure out a crime. You're dismissed.
Well, I can still stand here all I want.
No, you can't.
I can because I was called here.
Get your arm off my car.
So,
Stop touching my property and turn that flashlight off. Turn the flashlight off. Get off my car.
I'm not on your car,
And
actually.
get lost. I'm not breaking any laws.
So next time we come back out here, we'll end up searching your car, okay?
You
Have
can
a good day.
kick rocks, jackass.
Okay, so number one, she should have invoked her Fifth Amendment right away. Obviously, I liked the video. I thought, she kicked his ass, and I love that. But let's break it down a little further, and let's get into the law and exactly what he can do if the cops are called and you're sitting in a car.
Hello.
Why do you have your hand on your gun?
Because it's comfortable. So the reason why I'm calling is because people are calling up here saying you've been parked here for a little bit.
So people are calling. Now, remember the reason why he's there. People are calling. How far can that go?
So I came and talk to you. What's going on? Do you live here?
I don't answer questions.
Do you live here in the area or do you live in your car?
I don't answer questions.
Okay.
Both times, the Fifth Amendment should have been pled from the very first question. I plead the Fifth Amendment immediately.
So, as of right now, I can't do anything. But if you get another call back here, out here.
If we get another call, so there it is right there. Let's get into that. Terry versus Ohio was passed in 1968. Cases are hinged. The jurisprudence, the stare decisis is based, or the precedent is set that you can use this precedent that in Terry is now based on Adams versus Williams, the precedent that was set. And this is about somebody calling on you and what can happen if someone calls the cops on you. During the early morning of October 30th, 1966, an individual approached a police officer in a gas station parking lot in Connecticut and informed him that another individual in a nearby vehicle was carrying narcotics and had a gun in his waist. The officer approached the vehicle on foot and asked the occupant, Robert Williams, to open the door. When Williams rolled the window down, instead, the officer reached in the car and removed the gun from Williams' waistband. Though the gun was not visible from the outside of his vehicle, the officer then arrested Williams for unlawful possession of a firearm and proceeded to search his vehicle, where he found chemicals. Williams was convicted as a Connecticut state court in possession of a handgun and chemicals. After the Supreme Court of Connecticut affirmed his conviction, Williams filed a claim against the prison warden, Frederick Adams, in which he alleged the state of Connecticut continued to detain him unlawfully as a prisoner. Williams argued that the handgun and chemicals were discovered through an unlawful search and should not have been admitted into evidence at his trial. The district court denied his petition on appeal. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit sided with Williams and ordered that his conviction be set aside. Amazing, he gets out. So then it's granted certiorari and goes up to the Supreme Court. And at the Supreme Court is always a constitutional question. Does the Fourth Amendment allow a police officer acting only on a tip from an informant to approach a person and remove a weapon concealed in the person's waistband? And once again, by ideology, you'll see that the conservatives on the right always give our rights away to the police. So the question was, does the Fourth Amendment allow a cop acting on only a tip approach a person and remove a weapon concealed? Yes, Justice William Rehnquist wrote in the opinion 6-3 majority, the court held that the informant's tip permitted the officer to approach Williams' car and make a limited search of Williams' waistband for the officer's own protection. That's Terry versus Ohio. Couldn't do it without Terry. Williams versus Adams, it would be unconstitutional if it wasn't for Terry. You'd be able to sit in your car and have chemicals and your gun, and nobody would be able to reach in your car and grab you. The court further held that the discovery of the weapon gave the police probable cause to arrest Williams for illegal possession of a firearm. Because the officer's subsequent search of the vehicle was permissible, the chemicals he discovered were admissible at Williams' trial. Justice William O. Douglas, who was the lone dissenter in Terry versus Ohio, he was the only person who said, no, I don't agree with this, wrote a dissent in which he argued the officer did not have probable cause to arrest Williams for illegal possession of a firearm because Connecticut's free and easy gun laws allowed individuals to carry concealed weapons so long as they have a permit. And he didn't know if he had a permit or not. He just assumed and reached in his car. Justice Thurgood Marshall concurred in the dissent. In his separate dissent, Justice William J. Brennan expressed concern that the unnamed informant gave no information that the officer could not have readily manufactured after seizing the weapon. The cop could have made the whole story up. Yeah, somebody told me. Therefore, Justice Brennan argued that the police officer should have not been permitted to arrest and search individuals on the basis of an informant's tip alone. Justice Marshall wrote a separate dissent in which he argued that the prosecutors failed to meet their burden to prove that the informant's information was reliable and sufficient to justify the arrest and search of Williams. Justice Douglas joined in that dissent. So you could see it's always the conservatives, always. And so the case precedent that Terry versus Ohio has created, if we just go back to this, there's a very clutch and key point that why is all of this justified? Why is all of this justified? All of this that happened is justified for officer safety. Well, where did officer safety come from? Where's the precedent of officer safety over our rights? Remember, so what's happening here? You're reaching into, what did William O. Douglas write here? He argued he did not have probable cause. Did not have probable cause. The Fourth Amendment says no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause. He had no warrant. He had no reason to be able to reach into that man's car, regardless of what some little birdie told him. But he can reach into that guy's car for officer safety. That precedent wipes away our Fourth Amendment right to illegal search and seizure. That's what Terry versus Ohio does. So I want to show you something that you may not have known before that you might find interesting. So if we go here, so you know how we talk about you have your civil rights, you have your civil liberties. Well, right back here in a case, I can't see it, so I'll just give you what's off the top of my head that I know. 1876, Cruikshank versus United States, 6 years after the 15th Amendment in 1870. Cruikshank versus the United States. Remember, we had passed the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment in 1865. I can't see this very well. 1865, 1868, and 1870. So those three amendments, the abolition of slavery, equal protection under the law, and the right for black men over the age of 21 to vote with the 15th Amendment. What happens is, in the 1876 case of Cruikshank, and this is based on a guy named Bill Cruikshank, who went out and massacred a bunch of black guys after they had a big fight about Republicans and Democrats, who was in charge. And so because Cruikshank executes these black people, it goes to the Supreme Court. And in the Cruikshank versus United States case, the Supreme Court says that your civil liberties, your 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment, those go through the states. We don't, those are not applied to, you don't have those have to go through the states. If you want to get justice, you have to go through the states. That's what Cruikshank did. And so when were your civil liberties attached then? In 1964. I know it sounds so preposterous, but that's just that your civil liberties had to be applied to you, and you couldn't be discriminated against based on race. And so it's our whole country, the entire system of oppression in the injustice industry is pretty much based on racism. It sucks. It sucks to tell you guys these things, but I wish I could see this, but I can't see it. So I know you guys can see the poster, but this is your lynching graph right down here. And then this is your prison graph that goes along the bottom. You can't see it. And then these cases, these Supreme Court cases, if you learn them and memorize them, you will be so much further along in understanding the history of our country. And this, of course, is the unedited history of the United States, because most of the cases on this wall here were passed for blacks that are now applied to all of us. Cruikshank versus the United States in 1876 said that your civil liberties didn't apply to you. And then those civil liberties wouldn't be applied for another almost 100 years, 90 years. That's what happened. So now you see how Terry versus Ohio completely and utterly decimates freedom, because they just create these little pockets. Officer safety first. We have to have officer safety first. Officer safety first is the standard for your rights now. If you get involved with the cops, anything can happen to you because it's officer safety first. You had a right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures. Nope. The officer thought maybe you might have something on you. He had to search you. Oh, but it's not a search. It's a pat down. Is that how it's working though? Put a 1 in the chat if that's not how it's working. Put a 1 in the chat if the cops are searching you immediately. If they're searching you and your stuff right away, as soon as you interact with them, they're searching your shit. I mean, it's just such crap. It's just such crap. We're living in such a dystopian society. It's unbelievable. I want to show you guys something. I'll show you just 2 seconds of it real quick, like just get a glimpse at what I'm looking at here. And then I will pause it. So this was the video I was going to show you yesterday. We tried to blur it. So I put this up on you see the firing squad laid out right here. And this is a drunk homeless guy, or a drugged out homeless guy. And I was going to show this yesterday, but I put it up on my studio and they demonetized it, and they age restricted it and censored it. So you see the top where it says censored, blurred, edited, YouTube censors. I blurred this. I did everything I could, and they still demonetized it because the police set up a shooting squad here. You see the shooting squad? This guy has just his jeans and his t-shirt on. Does he have something down his pants?
Lay on your stomach. Keep your hands up. You put your hands towards your waistband, force will be used against you.
So they say you put your hands by your waistband, force will be used against you. So the guy was asleep on the ground a few minutes ago. They kind of snuck up on him. They could have just ran up there and jumped on top of him, but they didn't.
Lay on your stomach. Lay down.
Oh, so he's going to reach right there inside of his pants. He's going to reach into the middle of his zipper area, and they're going to shoot him 50 times. That's what happens. That's what happens in that video. I wanted to show it. We blurred it, but if I show it, they demonetize this. I censored it. I blurred the whole thing. We blurred the dead body, and they demonetized it and age restricted it. You can't show what the cops do to us here in America in the streets. You can't show it. If you show what the cops do to us here, they'll damn near delete your channel. My channel's on the verge, you know. You're not allowed to show what the cops do to us in the streets here. The government, who's running through themselves through YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, and they filled up these places. Facebook, my Instagram is still shadow banned. I asked 100 people to go sign up. I think 100 people did. Nothing, no movement at all. It's just such a crap system. This government sucks so bad. These people, whoever the deep state is, they want to be in charge of each and every one of us and have complete and utter control over each and every one of us. Know where we go, know who we talk to, know what we do, know what we spend our money on. Check into, they want to limit podcasts now. Oh, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't say this, you can't say that. Why? Censorship is one of the biggest problems we're facing in the United States of America. Smoked insane. What is going on? Oh, did you? So just so you guys know, it's something like 60 or 70% of the people who watch this channel are not subscribed. So if you're watching this video right now, subscribe. Take a second. 66% of the people on this channel are not subscribed. So hit the subscribe button. If you've just been lurking around. What's going on, Citizen Broadcast Cooperative? Press with Rancor. What is going on, my friend? What is going on? How are you? Derek Morris is here. What's going on, Derek? Jim, Jungle is massive. What's going on, my friend? How are you? Basil, I haven't seen the chat much today. So you say, JT Soup. Chevy, what's up, Playboy? What's going on, Playboy? I guess we should probably watch. I should probably do a deal for the day. So the deal for the day will be, if you get a trifold today, you get a trifold, I will give you a Fifth Amendment cop card for free. So there's the deal for the day. If you go to the store and you buy a trifold, one that I send to you, they cost $20. I will then give you a Fifth Amendment cop card that is made of like this hotel key for free, like your Visa card for free. I suppose that we should watch the latest installment of American Patriot. Did anybody see it? Put a 1 in the chat. But first, let me do this. Put a 1 in the chat if you have a trifold or a Fifth Amendment cop card. Press with Ranker. I'm going to send you a pair of Fifth Amendment cop cards. I will send you a pair of Fifth. Put a 1 in the chat if you have a trifold or a pair of cop cards in your visor or in your wallet right now. I just want to see 1, 1, 1. Oh, you gave your cards away, Javro? Hit me up, Javro. Let's make sure. Yep. So most people are Team DLZ. You've been here for a while. Gloria, what is going on? How are you, hon? Good. Bruce, I don't know where Mikey's been. I don't know. Where has Mikey been? I could shoot him an email. I'm just not sure. You got to have a trifold in your car. You got to have a Fifth Amendment cop card in your wallet. Most people know. I mean, you can see most people in here, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. You have to have it in your wallet. You have to have it. It's just, let's watch this episode. I have not seen the latest episode yet. So here is the link to American Patriot, the series. If you guys have not seen this series yet, this series is so good. I have an editor who works on this full time. This is his full-time job. This is what he does for a living. And I put the link for episode 20 in here. And this is the latest episode. If you haven't seen 1 through 19 yet, you can get yourself caught up. I have not seen this one yet. What'd that say? Got a $20 tip Ubering today for giving a chili lecture. That's awesome, dude. Episode 20. One lady came down and she came down, and when I said to her, we got to put your story on camera, she left. And then one guy came down just now, younger gentleman, and he said the Ironton police harassed him so much that it disbanded him and his group of friends. That's what he told me. He wouldn't talk on camera. He wouldn't talk on audio. And then as far as the Blankenships, whoa. I know Derek came down and he said his daddy wasn't involved in the drug business. One person emailed me and said, I was listening to the interview you were doing with Derek Blankenship, who went on camera. And she said, as soon as he said his dad doesn't deal drugs, I had to stop watching. I had to walk out the door. I was furious. That's what the person said. Change is happening right now at an extraordinarily dramatic rate, because what you guys are witnessing is the culmination of the digital era coming to life. The name of the new system is called transparency. And that's all I'm going to say, and I'll get into that policing system. But you're about to see changes in leaps and bounds because of the camera. Those dirty pigs are going to be fired because there's so many people going on camera saying, oh my God, look at this, because this is bullshit and we're not going to take it. So I need you guys to put your face on camera. I put 5 or 6 people faces on camera today. My God, Ted Sprouse's story of his dogs being kidnapped. That does say police on it. I see a police cruiser up there. And you know me, I just immediately want to go over there and have a conversation with that copper, but I'm not going to. So you guys are about to see everything. I called out Hanshaw. I don't mean to interrupt the series, but Chevy just put this. I made a video 2 weeks ago calling out Lawrence County Deputy Jeremy Hanshaw. 2 weeks later, Hanshaw's been fired. So it's real. The effects of what we do are real. Change over the next couple years. And the reason why everything's going to change is because with the digital era, Everything's going to be caught on camera now. Every single thing is going to be caught on camera now. He's trying to put his hands behind his back. He's trying a couple times. He's telling the cops when they got him, one around the neck, and McKnight's trying to get him. He's telling him, I give up, I surrender. But McKnight wants to tase him. So he tases him. The guy puts his hands behind his back. He tases him again. And now that we can all see how cops treat human beings, it's atrocious. There's no reason people need to be tased. We need to get rid of handcuffs, tasers, and attack dogs. You got a camera now. This camera, just so you know, is your gun. This is your new weapon. I'll be filing a complaint against the blue line flags you added. You see that, you criminal? You're going to fucking prison, you piece of fucking shit. You think it's a joke. Hey, it's going to be me that puts you in prison. And God bless those first men and women who were the auditors of America that showed us that these cops are treating people like their lives don't matter. You're the enemy, brother. I got several screenshots sent to me by a Kentucky cop, so I looked them up. They said that I should be put in jail. That's what the cops in Kentucky were saying. If it's only a few bad cops, I'm exposing the bad ones for you. You're welcome. Or is that all bullshit? And they all do the same thing. Gosh, I did this thing called reading, and I read the Mullen Commission, and I read the Knapp Commission, and I read the Wickersham Commission. And you know what I read? That since policing has been militarized in 1929, that cops are dog shit. That's what I read. And that's 12 years of government study on cops. So how good has it been allowing cops to clean up their own backyard? Jeff Lawless, who said that, what's up, buddy?
Are you doing like a podcast or something like that?
Yeah, man, I'm just talking on my phone real quick. Is that cool?
Yeah, it's fine. No, that's what I thought because I heard you talking about government and stuff like that. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah, I think cops are pigs, so I'm just talking out loud.
Okay.
Okay, I wanted to answer your question, though. I don't want to be rude if you came up to talk to me. Oh, am I too loud? Do you want me to shut this?
No, I just want I saw somebody sitting out here, and I just.
Oh, I respect that, brother. This is your neighborhood.
Where people park at when they come to my house and stuff like that.
I'm gonna be moving in a second.
No, you're fine. You can sit here as long as you want to.
Okay. Okay.
Nice, sir.
Thank you, brother. Let me explain something when it comes to your rights given to you by God. What does that mean? That means that you're born with the inalienable right to life, liberty, property. You are born with the freedom of religion, with the freedom of press, with the freedom to assemble, with the freedom to petition, and freedom of speech. Those are your first big five freedoms. They are not written up during the Federalist Papers or the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776 or the finalization of the Constitution in 1793. None of those things come from a piece of paper. They come from God. That's why these guys are tyrants. You should not be stuffed into the back of a dungeon and then taken to a dungeon where there's no paint on the walls. And like Sarah said earlier, you got to step over bodies because there's no room for you. I'm the way I am because these guys abused me. I'm the way I am because they no-knock raided my home for no reason. The cops could have texted me and said, dude, we want to arrest you. And I would have said, where are you? I'll come right to you. But they didn't. They want to put on their war gear and kick your door down. Because let me tell you something. When I'm governor, I'm going to end all invasions. No more home invasions. Because the camera, we can siege you. If we need you that bad, we put a camera at the front of your house, put an officer to watch it, and then we siege you. No food can go in. No water can come out. We don't need to kick your door down with attack dogs. We're going to wait for you to come out. You got to come out sometime. If you're that bad, we're going to get you.
You go to the Juvenile Justice Center in Nashville, Tennessee. It's after 9 p.m. 4 teens, aged 15 to 17, have been left unsupervised while on a work detail, off camera in the basement of the building. And as you can see, they don't plan on sticking around for their trials. They've just come up a basement elevator and are wearing what appear to be yellow security vests. When they get to the ground floor, the teens bolt through the front entrance. No one's stopping them. Cameras catch the entire escape. For now, they've made it and run off into the night. Eventually, all 4 involved in the escape were caught and could now face additional charges.
You can't even rob a house and run down the street. The Ring Network will get you. Lawless, you wouldn't let us see your jail. She said there's bodies stacked on top of people. I said, let's see it. Oh, no, come back on visiting day. The Mullen Commission, 1994, in one of the interviews, the supervisor says, as soon as we found out that there was oversight coming in, as soon as we found out that there was a new third party coming in, everything got cleaned up. Everybody's books got cleaned up. The reports got cleaned up. Everything got cleaned up. Just knowing oversight was coming. But now this camera changes everything. Everything. I need to hear your story on camera. Texting and email is not going to work. I have too many texts and too many emails. I can't get back to all the people that these good cops have cheated. All right. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to check in. I literally have had 12 hours of sleep in 4 days. I've got to get some sleep tonight. So it's 9 o'clock now. If I go to sleep now, I'll sleep till 6 or 7. I've got to get some sleep. I'm exhausted. Her story? Do you see her whole story? Because those would be the bad apples. If there are good cops, I've never met one, but if there are good cops, then, you know, I guess just the bad ones are harassing her. Everybody seems really happy about it so far in this town. I do appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time. So cool. So, you know, big credit to the editor on that. That was a really cool cut. That was really cool. I hadn't seen the final cut yet. I have too many things going on. I can't do as many things as I'm supposed to be doing. So, yeah, that's, make sure you guys get over and watch American Patriot, watch the entire series from the beginning to the end. Here's the link for American Patriot. I'll stick it down in the comment section below. Harrison said, I like how Here's the Deal put it. I'm going to get it wrong. But when you fight for human rights, you fight for everyone's rights. We're all in the same boat. Yeah. Brian's a pretty insightful guy. Brian is a pretty insightful guy. Listen, I got to get the flock out of here. It's 4:30 right now. I will see you guys on the next one later.